plant on the country's Mediterranean coast. Sisi met with Prime Minister Sharif Ismail, Minister of Electricity Mohammed Shakir, Minister of Finance Hani Qadri, and the head of the Financial Affairs Authority for Egypt's Armed Forces. In October, a senior official at Russian state-owned nuclear firm Rostom announced that talks for a contract to build a nuclear power station in Egypt had reached their final stages. Meanwhile, Rosatom, the overseas vice president, said that the deal was expected to be signed by the end of the year and that the project will be completed in 2022. The planned plant would be located as an existing nuclear site in Al-Dab'a on the Mediterranean coast west of Alexandria. Egypt has experienced periods of electricity shortages in recent years, at times causing frequent blackouts.
And from Al-Ahram Daily, we read President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, in a press statement after landing in Sharm el-Sheikh airport, said that pressure on Egypt will not defeat Egyptians' desire to succeed. The president said that he came to send a message to the investors in Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada, confirming that the region is still safe for investments. El-Sisi's visit comes 10 days after the crash of the Russian Airbus A321, which killed all 224 people on board while en route from Sinai to Russia's St. Petersburg. Al-Ahram reported that el-Sisi is visiting Sharm el-Sheikh to discuss the repercussions of the Russian plane crash and visit tourist sites along with Tourism Minister Hisham Zazwa and South Sinai Governor Khalid Fouda.
And moving on to Al-Akhbar Daily. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met on Thursday with his Sudanese counterpart Ibrahim El-Ghandour in Malta on the sidelines of the African-European Summit on Immigration on the 11th and 12th of November. Spokesman of Foreign Ministry Ahmed Abu Zaid said the two sides discussed the ways to raise the bilateral ties as well as preparations to convene the National Committee on the Renaissance Dam. The spokesman also added that the two ministers discussed the regional issues of common concern.
And from Al Jamhuriya newspaper, we read a delegation of the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development visited on Thursday Terminal 2 at Cairo Airport to inspect the last phase of the construction ahead of its trial operation in the first quarter of 2016. The delegation included World Bank Country Director for Egypt, Yemen, Djibouti, Middle East and North Africa, Asad Alam and others. Chairman of the Egyptian Holding Company for Airports and Air Navigation, Mahmoud Ismat, received the delegation at the airport. Alam hailed the new project, adding that the World Bank is proud to fund and construct this project in Egypt.
And from Al-Ahram Online, Minister of Water and Energy Mutuma Mikase said on Thursday that Ethiopia will abide by the results of technical studies on the Grand Renaissance Dam. He said that Ethiopia is hoping for a final agreement on the under-construction dam after the current round of tripartite negotiations and studies are completed, and is ready to work with Sudan and Egypt to that end. The Ethiopian minister indicated his country would not be opposed to joining a shared mechanism with Egypt, Ethiopia and Sudan that would manage the Nile's water resources and projects. He also added that the dam won't harm the Egyptian people and that his country would not build a dam that harms the people of any nation.
And we are still with Al-Ahram Online, from which we read the Irrigation Ministry announced that the volume of rainfall that fell on the coastal governorate of Alexandria and the Delta governorate of Bahira a few days ago was unprecedented and equal to the amount of the average annual rainfall on both governorates. Irrigation Minister Hussein Al-Mughayzi also announced the status of emergency in both governorates by cancelling the vacations of the technicians and the engineers responsible of handling the maintenance of the sewage networks. Since the end of last week, Alexandria and Bahira witnessed heavy rains that disrupted daily life, leaving 1 dead in Alexandria and 25 dead in Bahira. From Wednesday until Saturday, all 3,000 schools in the governorate were closed due to the floods caused by the heavy rains, according to the agency.
And still we are taking a look at the main headlines of our Egyptian dailies, moving on to Al-Masri Al-Yawm. Saudi King Salman expressed on Thursday full confidence in Egyptian security measures, ordering Riyadh's national airline to continue flights to Sharm el-Sheikh despite suspicions a bomb downed a Russian jet flying from the resort. And a lie of Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the king directed Saudi Arabian Airlines to continue running flights to Sharm el-Sheikh from Riyadh and Jeddah in support of tourism in the Arab Republic of Egypt. El-Sisi had promised a transparent probe and cautioned against hasty conclusions over what brought down the Metrojet Airbus A321 over Egypt's Sinai Peninsula on the 31st of October, killing all 224 people on board. Saudi Arabia has offered billions of dollars in aid to Egypt since 2013. El-Sisi was in Riyadh this week for a summit of Arab and South American states.
And from Al-Shuruq newspaper, we read Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry met on Thursday with his Dutch counterpart Brett Quinders in Malta on the sidelines of the African-European Summit on Immigration on 11 and 12 November. Shoukry stressed the importance of expanding the legal migration path as a fundamental solution to combat illegal immigration and the need to strengthen the links between migration and development. Meanwhile, the minister also stressed the importance of the cooperation of all international parties to resolve the regional conflicts, especially in Syria and Libya, considering it the main reason of increasing the numbers of illegal immigrants, as well as the phenomena of terrorism and weapons smuggling.
And still with Shuruq newspaper, Cairo Fashion Festival started its inauguration ceremony in the Opera House as it came back this season with a fresh lineup that aims to tie fashion and culture through presenting the best of both worlds. From Indian fiesta to Sufism rituals and Oriental precision, the fifth round definitely managed to tour the globe in few hours. For the first time, the festival was not held in the usual open-air theatre. Instead, it was moved to the Mark Theatre only 48 hours before the date. Nonetheless, the show proceeded intact.
And finally, from Al-Yom Al-Sabi', we read Egypt's stock indices collectively declined on Thursday due to the purchasing operations of Egyptian corporations, while Arab and foreign investors tendered to selling. And for more on this headline, we have the details in the following report.
Egypt's main index inched up 0.07 ahead of the week after a week of losses reaching around 10%. Benchmark index EGX 30 recorded 6,000.